Hello, everyone. Welcome to our School Mental Health Mindful Movement series. We will be hosting these movement-based sessions every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Time. Thank you so much for joining us today. This event is brought to you by the National American Indian and Alaska Native Mental Health Technology Transfer Center under the K-12 School Mental Health Supplement Project. We are located at the University of Iowa and a part of the National MHDTC network serving the National American Indian and Alaska Native population across the U.S. and Alaska. We provide TA for tribal communities and schools, as well as having several ongoing initiatives and projects. This project is supported by SAMHSA. The content is developed by the presenter, and the opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect the views or policies of SAMHSA, HHS, or the American Indian and Alaska Native MHTTC. Although we are gathered virtually today, we want to take the time to acknowledge the land and pay respect to the Indigenous nations whose homelands were forcibly taken and inhabited. Please take a moment to read this land acknowledgement, which has been created by 3 members of our team, Ella Driscoll, Keely Driscoll, and Sean Bear. This series is brought to you by the K-12 School Supplement Grant Team. This is Teresa Brewington, our project manager. Her background includes a master's in educational leadership, master's in business administration, and progress toward a master's in counseling. She's an enrolled member of the Coharie tribe and a descendant of the Lumbee tribe. She joins us from the Meskwaki settlement in Tama, Iowa, where she currently resides. Julia Bulwitt is a research associate from the University of Iowa and has been assisting on K-12 projects for the past year. She holds a bachelor's degree in psychology from Ball State University and a master's in clinical mental health counseling from the University of Iowa. Kate Pruce is a graduate research assistant from the University of Iowa and has been with the K-12 initiative since February of 2021. Kate holds a bachelor's degree in child, adult, and family services with a minor in psychology from Iowa State University, and she is currently working on her master's in school counseling at the University of Iowa. This program and many others are offered through our center located in Iowa City, although we serve across the U.S. Here you will find contact information for our program manager, as well as our program guide for our other services and technical assistance request form. Please reach out to us with any interest in these programs. Today we welcome Victoria Marie, Iron Plume Woman. Victoria has worked with our K-12 projects throughout 2021. She has brought her expertise in youth engagement, movement, meditation, and healing through all kinds of medicine. She is an enrolled tribal member of the Sisseton Wahpeton, mother, artist, and founder of Indigenous Lotus. Victoria is joining us today from the Twin Cities in Minnesota and will continue to lead K-12 projects with our center. Welcome, Victoria, and thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. So today we are going to actually do the majority of our movement in chair. At the same time, being really mindful and aware of some of the sensations and emotions that might come up as we're holding and breathing into these spaces. Last week we focused on balancing really simple movements, but shifting that focus and focusing on those areas, noticing where we need a little bit more work on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and find a comfortable chair. Make sure you can see me pretty well. Find a comfortable chair with no arms. And I'll adjust it if I need to. All right. So no arms, we would like some space to move around a little bit. If you do have shoes on, I suggest taking them off if you feel comfortable. If you're at home and you feel maybe your legs are a little shorter, you can always place something underneath them if you like, pillow, bolster, anything just to bring those up a little bit higher or bring the floor closer to you, you can do so. So let's go ahead and get comfortable. And at this time, you can go ahead and lean back in the chair. So adjust your hips. And even though we're sitting back, we are sitting up tall. And before we close our eyes, just look at the body for a moment. Knees are aligned with the hips. Toes are facing forward. Shoulders are relaxed and down. Hands in the lap, palms face up. Crown of the head towards the sky. Now, throughout our practice, for the short time that we have together, I want to invite you to explore within the body and your mind and your spirit how you're feeling. Because all of those three things make us whole as a person, as they are not separate. And if there's any parts of our body within it or in our thoughts that are really standing out, really sticking out this morning or this afternoon, think about that for a moment. So I invite you to close your eyes. And begin focusing on the breath as you inhale through the nostrils and exhale out through the nose. Starting at the feet, noticing the feet above the floor, under the knees, and as we're doing the scan, checking to see how these parts of our body are feeling or is feeling at this moment. Perhaps if you've been walking all day or sitting. And if you've been sitting, go ahead and wiggle your toes. Squeezing them and stretching them out. Lifting the heels. Lowering them down, lifting the toes. And if you've been walking or moving around all day, perhaps you'd like to just keep the feet here resting. Bringing your awareness up from the feet to the knees. Noticing how our knees are feeling today. And one leg at a time, we'll extend one out. Lowering down. And then the opposite. And lowering down. Bringing that awareness from the knees up to the hips. Notice if the hips feel tight or tense, or perhaps even weak. Taking one leg out to the side. Bringing it back in. And then the opposite side. Extending it out. Back in. From the hips up to the lower part of the back. We're going to sit up tall, again, keeping the eyes closed. You can open to look. We're going to shift our shoulders over to one side. And as we do so, our hands just gently follow. And we're not forcing, we're just turning over. There's a gentle twist here. Now we'll turn that chest to the closest knee on that turned side. So if you twist it over to the left, it'll be the left knee. And now we'll hinge forward. Hands can stay rested above the knees or lower down towards the floor. We'll inhale, rising back up to center. Over to the opposite side. Turn that heart towards the knee closest. And lower down. Here, keeping the head and neck aligned with the spine. Inhale, rising up. Bringing our awareness from that lower back up to the shoulders. We'll take the hands down at the sides. Taking the shoulders up towards the ears and drawing them back down. So circular movements here. And now from the shoulders down to the hands, circle out the wrists. And keeping the eyes closed, breathing in through the nose, exhaling out through the nose. Palms face up. We're going to inhale, sweep those arms up. Reach up towards the sky, gentle back bend. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Resting the hands back into the lap. Taking the head over to the right. Down to the chest. And over to the left. Down to the chest. And we'll inhale, head rises up. So for this moment, keep the eyes closed and check in from the tip of the toes up to the knees, to the hips, the lower back, up to the shoulders, down to the fingertips, back up to the head. And as you're checking in, begin to feel your breath expand beyond the lungs, beyond the belly, throughout the body. And if anything arises, you notice something that come up. On your exhale, you can open mouth. Holding here for a few more breaths. Now, as we begin to open our eyes, we'll look down towards the floor and forward. We're going to go ahead and extend the right leg out. As we extend it here, toes are flexed up towards the sky. Again, we're going to hold and breathe, and we're going to work from the feet up to the top of the head. So for some of us, we might feel shaking here, and that's okay. You breathe into it, as long as there's not any pain that follows. If it helps, you can hold on to the seat of your chair. Now we want to lift those toes up just a little bit higher without locking the knee. Now we'll bring that foot above the left knee. We'll hinge forward from the waist, lengthening through the upper body. Hands can stay right here. Now, if there's any issues with the knees, we don't want to press hard on the knees, so we can lift it up a little bit to alleviate any of that. If you feel pretty comfortable here, go ahead and hold here and breathe into that. You'll feel that in the back of that right leg. Feel it in the hips. Now you have that option to stay here or lower down. So our fingertips can lower down. Now we'll inhale, rise up. Exhale, release down. Left leg extending out, toes flex up. Now notice here if you feel yourself leaning back to keep this leg up. What we want to do is sit up tall. Use those core muscles to draw that in. Slight bend in the knee, toes lift up. You can use the chair for support. Again, you might notice that shaking. And if so, that's okay. Breathe into it as long as there's no pain. For some of us, we're really forcing some of these muscles to awaken. Lifting up just a little bit higher. Now I'll bring that left foot above right knee. Now, if you're practicing at home, you can always place something soft underneath the ankle. And for some of us, if we have any type of resistance in our hips, we can always extend that leg out and bring it right back in. I know for me, I had a little girl almost 2 years ago. And so for me, my hips are still healing. And so for me, I do catch myself having to come out, bring back in. Now we'll hinge at the waist. And again, when you feel that stretch right here, want to breathe into it. So feeling that stretch in the glute, the back of the leg, and into the hips, breathe into it. And at any time you feel that resistance, go ahead and open mouth exhale. Option to stay here or lower down a bit further. So there's different ways that we can lower down. We can lower down by bringing one hand, threading it through, if that helps. So for me, my left hand is threaded through the legs. My right hand is on the outside of that left foot. Pressing firmly with that right foot. Now we'll inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower that leg down. Now we're going to take the knees out. Again, same as the body scan, we're working our way up. So knees out, toes out to the side as well. Now here there are a couple different things. If inversions are something that medically right now you can't do, high blood pressure, glaucoma, diabetes, anything like that, we can keep the head and neck aligned as we fold forward, but we want to keep the head from going lower than the waist. Now this is where placing anything under the hands will help, but this is a nice stretch, especially if you've been sitting. So you can stay here, halfway. If you feel pretty comfortable, you can lower down. Head lowers all the way down towards the earth and just allow for it to hang heavy here. Maybe a bit of a sway side to side. Pressing through the hands. We'll press up. Now you can use your knees for support, as long as you don't compromise them by caving them in, keeping them out. You can use them for support to lift up, or from the core, inhale, rise. Bringing one in at a time. Scooting a little bit closer to the edge of your chair. Ankles below knees. So we're going to arch the spine, tuck the chin. On our inhale, we'll go ahead and press the heart forward, tilting the head back just a bit so our chin lifts, so we feel the opening of our heart and our throat. And now on your next exhale, arching the spine. So flowing here a few times at your own pace. Feeling that flexibility in the spine from the base all the way to the top of the head. And as you're moving, feel all the way from down the waistline the core, the abdomen, up to the heart, into the shoulders, the neck, and the top of the head. And back to neutral. Let's go ahead and extend those hands out, palms face forward. We're going to take that left hand, crosses over the chest. The right hand comes underneath so that the arm is in that elbow crease, the right elbow crease. And here we'll just gently pull that right arm closer. That right forearm comes closer to that right shoulder. Inhale, we'll open up, wiggle the fingers, right hand crosses over, left hand swoops under and over. Inhale, open up, wiggle the fingers. Inhale, arms rise, palms face forward. Exhale, bending the elbows, lifting the chin. Back to neutral. We're going to twist over to the left side, extending that right hand behind us, or left hand behind us, right hand to left knee. Now, you also have that option just to grasp onto the chair, the seat, or the back, and sit up tall, looking towards the back of the room. Take that left hand, bring it over to right knee, chin lowers down. Inhale, we'll rise up and twisting over to the right, extending that right hand behind us or lowering it down. Right hand rises up and over to that left knee. Chin lowers down. Now, let's go ahead and get comfortable. Sitting upright, sitting tall. I invite you to close the eyes, resting the hands in your lap or at your heart. Release the tension in the jaw, tension in the brows. Breathing in through the nose. Sending your breath down to your feet. Doing one more final scan. As you sit taller, stronger, and move more fluidly throughout the rest of your day. Hands lower down. Inhale, arms rise. Hands come together. Exhale, heart center. Bowing forward, thumbs to center brow. Giving thanks to yourself for being here, showing up, part of this space. I want to say thank you, Miigwech, for being here. Thank you, everybody. And until next week, have a great rest of your week.